Olin, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Doing good this morning. Still enjoying the win. Feel like this team got a little payback for me from the 2010 NFC Championship game. So feel good about that. Crazy game, crazy to rewatch. I heard you guys talking about it this morning. Really, really tough team, man. Tough team, tough mentally, great football character. They compete the whole game, especially the quarterback. And it seems like the whole team rallies behind him and believes because they know they have a guy who can put the ball in the air and attack every part of the field and put the ball in the end zone and score something like, say 25 points in one quarter to win a football game.
I think you were also on the field, Olin, probably the last time the Bears had a victory of this magnitude, and that was the NFC Championship game back during the 2006 season, would have been January 2007. And when you start to put this into historical context, you start to go way back in Bears history. I guess the question is, how did they do it? In your mind, yeah, you had Caleb Williams with 25 points in the fourth quarter and all these things, but the defensive turnaround, that was unexpected in the second half. The offensive explosion, they scored more points in the fourth quarter than they had in the previous 7. How do you explain what we all just saw?
Yeah, and put it into perspective, I get a great perspective in my house, right? I have kids from 22 all the way down to 10, right? And I have a 16-year-old girl who's never seen the Bears win a football game like they just won. So historical perspective, I get to watch. No one expects them to beat the Chicago Bears. You're talking about 2006. They could care less in my house about 2006, right? My kids could care less even about the game against the Seattle Seahawks, right, in the 2010 playoffs. The last time Chicago Bears won a playoff game, and guys, we don't have to say that anymore. But just really a game that when you watch Dennis Allen, and a lot of credit to him, changing his scheme. And you got guys like DeMarco Jackson on the field because TJ Edwards is out, and I hope he gets healthy quickly. But all of a sudden, they're bringing what they call double pro, right? Double cornerback blitz. First play of the second half, David and Mully. And I'm thinking to myself, well, Dennis Allen said, screw it, man. I'm going to bring the house on these guys, right? And all of a sudden, you're watching Tyler Gordon blitz and Jalen Johnson defend the pass. And you're thinking, man, this is what it was supposed to look like, right? This is what we thought we were going to see. And, Billings is out and, are, banged up. And I'm thinking, gosh, how are they going to stop the run without Andrew Billings? But like a few nicely timed blitzes, D linemen playing their gaps. Linebackers makes plays. I don't know about you guys, but I had to check who the hell is number 16, right?
Yeah.
Reeves Maven. Reeves Maven. I'm like, who is this guy? He's blitzing and he's coming free. And the thing that Dennis Allen, man, I'd like to know what he said too at halftime, along with Coach Ben Johnson, who did a great job. And it's just the competitive character, guys. I keep saying that the way the quarterback, no matter what's going on, the way he competes and comes out there and he's still trying to put the ball in the end zone. And we know that maybe he's a little more comfortable in that kind of offense, no huddle offense. We got to throw the ball. These are things that he did all through college, but attack the field. And then you see this pass that everyone's talking about. We're 2 feet off the ground. And I heard David talk about how it's the jump man pass. And things are going on in this game that, you don't even see, like Joe Tooney getting beat clean on some plays. And you're thinking, man, Joe Tooney got beat. Like, how the hell are they going to win this football game? But they just keep fighting. They keep going. This team has shown perseverance all year long, and they make the plays at the end of the game. And I really think Green Bay was just trying to run the clock out, right, and not trying to make plays anymore, and just hoping that the game would end and they could leave with a win. But they don't. They should know this Chicago Bears football team. And I think Micah Parsons tweeted out at halftime, like, guys, I know we're up by X amount of points, but this team, they're going to fight you to the end. So they had a guy up in the suite, probably eating really good food and sipping on whatever he's sipping on, trying to warn them what this Chicago Bears, what their culture is, what their team character is, that they're going to keep playing to the end. And engineer Ben Johnson talked about, they talked about, the Super Bowl between Atlanta and New England and all these things that they've talked about this year that, look, we're going to continue to fight. And Grady Jarrett, and then a fumble by an offensive lineman by the Packers. And guys, I mean, the things you watch on when you turn that film on, you guys did the same thing. It was insane, right? It was an insane football game, but to win that football game, unbelievable, man. Chicago Bears, congratulations to them, and thankful that we got to enjoy that victory there on the lakefront.
This segment with Olin Kreutz is sponsored by Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. And Olin, I was trying to remember, I mean, we've talked to you before about that Arizona game Was that the biggest comeback that you were involved in? Was that the most unlikely comeback that you experienced during your career? And I just remember going in. That was the most remarkable locker room I ever visited. Got to go in and talk to some people. It was almost like everyone was. It was almost like you could hear people laughing through the door. Everyone was so. It was like, quick, let's get out of here before they call the cops. It was such a unbelievable robbery of a game, and that was when Dennis Allen did the whole. Or Dennis Allen when Dennis Green did the whole. They are who we thought they were. That meltdown, and I thought to myself as I was thinking this through, just what would that be like in a playoff game where you kind of had been eliminated, and then there must be this aura of invincibility almost that could be scary to deal with.
Right now, they had a playoff game versus the Green Bay Packers that you just recovered an onside kick to beat a few weeks ago. And we talked about the difference when David brought that up to us, right? He brought that up after the last Packers game. What was the difference between the Arizona game? Kind of reminded us of that. And the difference was, again, the quarterback and the play caller, right? The quarterback won the game. Around here in Chicago, we're used to the defense and a special team. I think the two guys who walked out at the coin toss at that game were the reason. Well, and a lot of the reasons we beat the Arizona Cardinals, and Brian Urlacher wearing his gold jacket, and Devin Hester, right, my two former teammates, both wearing their gold jacket. Those are the reasons we beat the Arizona Cardinals. But, you talk about, maybe you can go back to 2001, Cleveland Browns 49ers, back-to-back Mike Brown pick six to win that game. I mean, Mike Brown, he ran up the tunnel, and we just all followed him up the tunnel. But that's how long you're talking about a victory like this. But this team seems to keep doing this, right? And it's, again, like you said, what is the magnitude of beating in Illinois, in Chicago, beating the Green Bay Packers, right? Beating a team that has basically been your boogeyman for so long. But I don't know about you guys, but when we went up 31-27, right? And, obviously they missed two field goals. They missed the extra point. And we had this lead out of nowhere, which I mean, I'm sitting on my couch. I can't believe we're leading this football game, man. Unbelievable, right? But when we went up, I thought to myself, Jordan Love's a very good football player who made a lot of good plays in that game. But they don't have a Hall of Fame quarterback anymore back there, right? They don't have a guy like Aaron Rodgers who's still in the playoffs, right? Who might be as old as me, still in the playoffs. I think he plays tonight, right? And they got a team worried about him, that kind of level of quarterback play, right? And Brett Favre in 31 years, a Hall of Fame quarterback. And I'm thinking, man, here we are. And we do have a chance to win this football game, to keep them out of the end zone. That's exactly what happened, man. And what a win, and what a win for the Chicago Bears.
I think that's what this feels like, is that Caleb Williams has taken over that role as being the one who owns this rivalry now. He's 3-2 in 2 seasons, and last Saturday night, it doesn't get any bigger than that. And I just wonder, now the Bears have come back 7 times in the final 2 minutes and won games, and it is laughable, Olin. It's just like,
it is, man.
Is this, when do you, in the midst of this, like, it feels like all things can be on the table. And when you say the Bears winning the NFC and the Bears going to the Super Bowl, you're a guy who's rooted in reality and you have good perspective. Are you considering those possibilities?
Definitely, right? Well, you're 2 games away, right? And anything can happen in the NFL. And the momentum you have after winning a game, you have one more at home. You never know what happens in Seattle with the 49ers. You never know where these games end up. I mean, I'm rooting in reality because in 2010, we had no business in an NFC championship game, but we were there, right? And obviously Jay gets hurt and Todd Collins comes in, and then Caleb Haney finishes the game, right? But we're talking about, you just mentioned who the Chicago Bears have, what kind of confidence that game must have given them to beat the Green Bay Packers at home. And you just got to keep performing. You got a young coach. You heard Caleb talk about his coach, right? And when you talk about him getting emotional in his development and what Ben Johnson has meant to him, I think, guys, that's because he went through what some other coaching can be like last year, right? And a lot of young quarterbacks' careers can go in the wrong direction if you don't have a guy who will put you on the right path, put you in good situations, call football plays, understand what you need to do to compete in the NFL. And I think that's what you heard in Caleb's speech after the game. So anytime a team can win football games like they win, get momentum like they get, and you guys have seen it before, team goes on a run, gets takeaways, competing. They got a young tight end and Colston Loveland making plays all over the place, right? Just they got a good offensive line. Their run game can get going against anybody. The Rams got to come play in the cold out here. You never know how that affects people to go that long. They're a very good football team. They're the team that a lot of people thought would be in the NFC Championship game. A lot of people think it's going to be the Rams and the Seahawks. So we've seen over years a team just get hot and go on a run. So it is definitely a possibility. And this football team is right in the mix, competing with these guys. And I know they're about a 5-point underdog, about where they should be, because like you're talking about, 7 games, win by last second. How lucky is this team? Hey, man, let's keep getting lucky. Let them call it what you want to call it. But as long as you win football games, nobody cares.
Yeah, it's just extraordinary to go back and watch the game and see how far out of it they are and how they do it and what happened in that game. And we talked about it on the post game, Olin. You have been a bit of a soothsayer regarding the Bears. I remember being at Revolution Brewery, and they fell behind to Cincinnati. And that game, that was it. It's over. I can't believe it. And you just didn't even blink. You're like, there's too much time. They got time. They can come back. And then sure enough, they come back, and I'm like looking at you like, what? Why would you believe that? And you were telling us friends of yours from all over the place were texting you, and you were telling them it's not over yet. Like, no. I thought for sure when they got that touchdown in the fourth, like it was almost that was like a bridge too far, and yet they came back again. I just don't know how that happened, and I've watched it a couple times, and I remember watching it back and thinking, well, how do they win this game again? Like, that can't happen. Like, it just was an extraordinary thing to see.
Yeah, I mean, they score, and you're like, here, we got this chance. And then they score again on Golden's touchdown, right? And it's 27-16, and I'm getting texts, and I just keep texting them back. Like, you probably don't want to quit on this football team. We've seen it all year long, right? Whether it be the Raiders, the Commanders, the Giants, the Vikings, the Steelers, the Eagles game, when they called a fumble on a tush push, the Packers game, they took it all the way down to the end, being down even in Green Bay, and then the last Packers game, right? I mean, recovering an onside kick and scoring and taking a lead, and then in this game, it's like, okay, can they do it? And you just keep thinking they can't. They can do it because we've seen them do it. We've seen this team competing. The game was just crazy with the amount of plays that the Chicago Bears had to make, and the reason why, you keep thinking they can do it is they obviously have the weapons on this offensive side of the ball, and Colston Loveland and DJ Moore, and Zacchaeus catches a touchdown pass, and they got Luther Burden when they get him lined up, right, and then they got the play caller and Ben Johnson, but they got the quarterback who can attack every part of the football field and jump off 2 legs and throw a football and throw the ball 60 yards in the air and make throws that a lot of, I think one of his teammates said, I think Rome said it was like, yeah, it's the greatest throw until he throws the next one, right? It's the greatest throw you've ever seen until he throws another one, right? And it's just kind of like we've seen this guy now, first time we got to see him in his rookie year, he would make throws and you're like, what an arm he has. But, I go back to the first third down in the game. I think it was 3rd and 3, in the first quarter. And the thing about Caleb, when you go back and watch the film, is he played pretty damn good most of the game, right? He really did. The run game didn't get going. There wasn't a lot of plays being made, but he was executing, especially on third downs early in the game. And that first 3rd and 3, he went through his whole progression, guys, and got back to Luther Burden and threw the ball to him from the pocket, right? Which is telling you his game is coming along, and he is working on the things that he needs to work on. And I remember Ryan Poe said early in Caleb's career, right, that let your teammates make plays, get the ball in your playmakers' hands, and then when it's time to do the special, go out there and do the special. But of course, guys, I mean, so much had to happen with the way the defense and bringing Kyler Gordon and the cornerbacks off the edge, and Montez Sweat causing intentional grounders, and they had to stop the run. And Green Bay LaFleur he's a really good play caller, man. I hear like rumors about, oh man, they might fire that guy. I tell you what, as a Chicago Bears fan, I hope so. This guy can attack the field. He does a nice job calling football plays. And, can you imagine Jordan Love's development if they got a guy in there like John Harbaugh, and who would be the offensive coordinator? And you saw what happened with Lamar Jackson. So the Chicago Bears right now, man, very interesting football team. What are they? What aren't they? How come they only win late? What gets them going? Hey, guys, I'll be honest with you. I turn the film on a lot, like you guys know. The hell if I know how they're doing all this.
All right, but 2 football questions briefly addressed, Olin. Number 1, 4th and 5 from their own 32 with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. What was going through your head when that happened? And then after you answer that, help us understand what changed in the second half defensively so that they had 4 straight series that basically were 3 and outs, except for they got 1 first down, because that was a game changer.
Yeah, in my notes, Dave, it was I put desperation, right, with a question mark. Like, why are we going for it there? And I didn't know what to think, because I just thought Ben Johnson must think they can't stop the Green Bay Packers on defense, right? And Dennis Allen probably went to the locker room and said, hey, man, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'll change the game plan. We'll get this damn thing going. We'll find a way to stop them. And the defense sure did. And then, like, right after that play, the fourth down, I think it was on gosh, I don't have it in my notes, but early in the game, going for it on 4th down and right in the second quarter, and I have desperation right here. That's when Edger Cooper tipped the ball and the snap wasn't great. You remember all that went on?
Yes.
I think Luther Burden was coming across the middle.
It was the Burden.
On the next play, guys, as a Chicago Bears, analyst and obviously cheering for them to win the game, on the next play, you're watching Josh Jacobs run through Andrew Billings, right? And you're like, oh my gosh. This and Andrew Billings lying on the ground injured, and you're thinking the game is over, right? and the fact that their sideline didn't think that they thought there were still ways to win that football game, and then they missed the field goal going into the half. And I think I tweeted out, Undertaker rising from the grave just because of the missed field goal, right? It's supposed to be 21-43. It's 21-3. But this team, and if you keep keeping them in the game, and every time the guy would miss the extra point, and you do the math, and you're like, wait a minute, that keeps us in the football game. But Dennis Allen came out and started bringing guys from the edges, David Hall. He started bringing cornerback plays. The first play of the second half was Jalen Johnson and Nashawn Wright. Corner double pro and the 2D tackles dropping. And that's what he did a lot of in the second half, bringing Kyler Gordon, bringing Jalen Johnson, bringing Nashawn Wright, bringing Brisker, bringing number 16, Reeves Maben. I think that's the name. If I screwed up, I apologize. DeMarco Jackson's on the football field. Austin Booker, they were running at him early, started playing with better leverage, using his hands. I give the guy credit. He fights the whole damn game, right? Grady Jarrett looked like he was the linchpin in the middle of the thing, man, leading guys, fighting on every play, doing everything he can to win that football game. And I just like they took a lot of pride in what they were going to do. And Dennis Allen probably told them, I'd love to know. There was a lot of talk going on with Caleb and Ben and all the things they did. I'd love to know what Dennis Allen said to that defense at halftime that he was going to do, that he was going to come out of the locker room and what they were going to do. But as far as scheme and what they did, that's exactly what they did, man. They started coming after them. They started blitzing them a little more. I'm sure the numbers have said that. I'm sure the percentages went way up in the second half. And Dennis Allen just said, look, man, I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at them. And it's funny because going into the game, what we talked about was he's got to play a little more zone. He's got to sit back. How he's going to cover these guys. And it was almost the opposite in the second half. It was almost like, nah, I'm done doing that. I'm going to come after Jordan Love. And then Jordan Love looked like, he was trying to play it a little more safe and not make the big plays and not make the big mistake to get the Bears back in the football game. And to be honest, I think that is what got the Chicago Bears back in the football game.
Olin, we'll let you go. Just curious, is the Rams the preferred opponent as opposed to the Eagles losing their game? The Rams obviously had a comeback. It was a back-and-forth game, but they won 34-31 against the Panthers, and supposedly Matthew Stafford got in the huddle and said, let's go steal their hearts. And I heard Devontae Adams say that he got a chill in his spine when he heard that.
I think we all know that the Rams were not the preferred opponent for the Chicago Bears. I think we all know we wanted the Eagles here. Nobody wanted Matt Stafford, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, and Sean McVay here at Soldier Field. But look, that's who you got, man. And that young defense, that defensive line gets after quarterbacks, right? And Shula and all these guys, their coaching staff is basically Theta Chi. We look at them on the sideline. Looks like a fraternity. They all got their perfect hair. They're all young guys, but they're all very good football coaches. Matthew Stafford, I don't know, I got to go through it again, but right off the top of my head, the best quarterback the Bears have seen this year. And then, guys, they got their own. Sean McVay is the OG, right? The original Ben Johnson coming to town, really good football coach. Him versus Dennis Allen quite the matchup, right? We got Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, a young quarterback. They got Stafford. We all seen the Chicago Bears defense versus receivers this year and stopping the pass. And they got Puka Nacua and they got Devontae Adams. And they got really good tight ends. Their offensive line. I mean, it's just that not the matchup. Well, I was at my 10-year-old daughter's basketball game yesterday, watching it on a little phone, kind of cheering for the Eagles, right? Hoping that we could get them that rematch again. But in the NFL, man, if you want to win the Super Bowl, like David talked about, eventually you got to slay the Giants. And here comes the Rams. The Chicago Bears have earned the right to play this damn football team. So I'm sure they're excited. I'm sure they want to go play them. I can't wait to watch them compete against the Rams.